ends with the Titans. So did the war with the humans, the beasts. But who knows how long that will last? That's not the focus of the story. Today, we look at 3 adventurers, or should I say, prisoners.
Hello there. My name is the one who is promised, the Flying Thunderbeak. But my enemies call me Small Beak because my beak is pretty and small and magnificent. But how would you like to be named by the size of your features, huh? You want to be known as Tiny Prick? Caw! Caw, caw! I think not. I'm a very powerful druid of the Circle of Cycles. You really don't want to mess with me.
Well, howdy to you there, partner. The name is B.O.B. But since we're friends, you can call me Bob. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What does B.O.B. mean? Well, I'll tell you. It means Bot of Bootyliciousness. You see, when I was made, my creator blessed me with a rump that won't quit. We're talking titanium alloy jointing sporting grade A silicon for extra jiggly action. My creator made me to entertain him and his patients, dancing and the like. Boy, did I make a lot of people happy. That's what I live for, I tell you. Before his unfortunate passing, he bade me to take an oath. An oath to spread love, kindness, and body positivity. An oath to protect the innocent against the wrongdoers. The oath of throwing it back. Since then, I've been all over, fighting monsters, outlaws, and showing others the greatness of a good tushy. If my creator were here now, he'd be proud of what this booty has accomplished.
My name is Jed Sturk.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I had a bit of phlegm, stuck in the back of the throat there. My name is Jed Sturk, and I am so glad to meet you. I'm from this little place up north called Bitterwell. I know it doesn't sound very great, but I'm telling you, it is run by some of the most wonderful people. My father is a very honorable man, and my stepmother, oh my goodness, is one of the nicest souls you just ever meet. God bless her. God bless her. I have 3 wonderful half-brothers, 2 alright half-sisters. The only real problem with Bitterwell is the fact that I have this one half-brother named Jan Stark. Everybody outside of the family loves him, but I'll just tell you, between me and you, nobody in the family likes him. Well, except for my half-sister. My stepmom can't even stand the little bastard. But here I am, traveling the world, getting to see these wonderful sights and trying to be the honorable man my father wanted me to be. If there's anything I can do for you, I am at your service.
Previously on A Warp in Time. Framed for a crime I didn't commit, I found myself imprisoned on a ship bound for a strange island. The Island of the Blind Serpent, the guards called it. Quite a strange name, doesn't sound very pleasant. Fortunately, my cellmates and the guards were good company. Over the course of our voyage, I got to know them a bit. Jed Sturk of Bitterwell was quite pleasant. He had a nice big nose. I'd say that's his most attractive quality, if you ask me. He was full of stories, although they usually ended up having some bad ending involving his half-brother, Jan Sturk. He even blamed his half-brother for his imprisonment. I found the amount of negativity spoken about his half-brother quite alarming. Siblings should love each other, not express disdain. My other cellmate was called the one who was promised, the Flying Thunderbeak. His calls were louder than the claps of my booty cheeks. I'll tell you now, that's saying a lot. He was convinced that we were on our way to an island paradise full of pleasure and fun. Pleasure Island, he called it. He hated the name Smallbeak. He claimed that many of his druidic peers called him that. If there's anything I hate, it's making fun of others over their physical attributes. When we get out of this situation, I hope to visit both of their homes and help resolve their interpersonal conflicts. Suddenly, we found ourselves in the middle of a violent storm, rocking the ship to its very hull. Things got even worse when some strange dark mist began pouring into the windows. It spread everywhere, rendering everyone who breathed it in unconscious or dead. We tried to evade it as best as we could, but we eventually found ourselves surrounded by the mist. Last thing I remember is seeing my newfound friends falling to the ground as everything went black. I came to on an unfamiliar shore, surrounded by wreckage that had washed up with me. Miraculously, the one who was promised, the Flying Thunderbeak and Jed, ended up on the same shore as I did. It's quite a relief being surrounded by familiar faces in the absence of my equipment. We immediately encountered some of the strangest critters I had ever laid eyes on. Reptilian creatures of all shapes and sizes. Thinking we were in imminent danger, our druid friend managed to communicate with these creatures and kept us from any harm. I'll be honest, if we didn't have him, both Jed and I would have been dead on the beach. Our newfound Titanic friends we encountered led us to some fresh water and a nice place to sleep for the night. As night fell, the one who was promised, the Flying Thunderbeak, then used his magic to make us a little safe haven guarded by trees that uprooted themselves and began to walk. Did I mention that we would have been dead a long time ago if it weren't for him? It appalls me that he is so mistreated where he comes from. Here I am now. Both the one who is promised, the Flying Thunderbeak, and Jed are sleeping. I remain awake here, looking at the stars above. We heard some stomping a little while ago. Shook the entire forest. Our new friends told us that there are big folk here that hunt big critters like them to wear for clothing. I can't help but feel like they won't be very welcoming to us. Only time will tell. Tomorrow we'll try to locate our equipment that was taken from us before we were imprisoned. Hopefully we find it among some wreckage on the shores, but something tells me it won't be that simple.
Last time on A Warp in Time, I learned some hard lessons. We aren't on Pleasure Island, and no one is role-playing. The danger is all real. Caw! Caw, caw! We took some time in the morning to eat some fish, which was kind of weird. Usually fish is for lunch or dinner, and worms are for breakfast. Anyway, then we made our way back to the shore, looking for our stuff. We lost our big dinosaur friends along the way. We just kind of forgot about them. Eventually, we found a large pile of junk that was part of the boat we came in on. Our troll friend had made it its home. I guess this is how the other half live, in piles of trash. Caw! Caw! He let us have our stuff back, like all my useless gold and trinkets. But what I was excited for was that I could finally cover up my tail feathers. All he wanted in return was some nice slabs of meat. Then we ran into a pile of mud. This is where I tried to get some tasty worms. I had to explain the finer side of the culinary arts to my companions. I don't think Bob understood, really. And I don't think Jed was even all there at the time. I can't say much about that because I kept hearing a strange voice inside my head that sounded like everyone else that isn't in our little party. Ah! I think that mist from earlier really affected my senses. Anyway, the mud was lorded over by a tiny lizard thing. I didn't feel like fighting it or eating it, so I let it live. Then we ventured into a dark part of the forest, a scary place with ravenous beasts. Only they were hidden from sight, so I cast a fairy fire to try and see them. I revealed one and made him an easy target. That's basically how he got defeated. I mean, Jed whacked it a few times, but it was because of the fire that he was able to kill it. The other one grabbed hold of Bob. I should have polymorphed it to get it off of him, but I didn't want to overdo it and look like too much of a show-off. I got to give Bob and Jed a chance to shine, or else they'll make me do all the work every time. But that was my mistake, because then it grabbed me. It really hurt. But I'm tough. They don't call me the one who was promised the flying Thunderbeak for nothing. Bob managed to clap his cheeks a few times and scared the creature away. Or that's what it looked like from my angle with my face stuck in the dirt. And that's where we left off. What shenanigans will we get into this time? Just how overpowered am I in this world? Will I succeed in keeping my underlings, Bob and Jed, safe? Find out now, live on Warp in Time!
Hello? Hello? Echo! Echo! Listen! Listen! I'm an idiot! You're an idiot! Well, that's not very nice. I guess I should just get this over with. I don't even really know who I'm talking to right now, but I'm supposed to say previously on a Warp in Time. So, it was a lot of fun. There was this troll guy that we saw before, but when we got there, he was fighting these big stone creature things, and they weren't really that big of a deal. I wanted to, keep the surprise and the suspense up, so I just bum rushed him, and I jumped on the shoulders, but it really wasn't that big of a deal, because when I was a kid, I used to jump on horses and weren't tamed, and whoever got to stay on longest out of me and my brothers got to sneak in and look inside the brothel while the other ones kept watch. I always won. But I didn't want to say this to Bob because I want to keep his spirits up because I kind of like Bob. He's a really cool guy. I don't really understand what he is, honestly, but he's nice. And so I want to keep his spirits up and keep him friendly. That other guy, though, I'm not entirely sure about yet. I kind of think he might be a witch. But honestly, I've handled him before. A quick steak and a little bit of fire does the trick. But after that, I got a rune, and it was awesome. And I'm pretty sure that small beak Dutchman, or whatever he calls himself, wants it for himself because he's a little greedy little bastard. But it's mine, and I want it fair and square. So now we're just headed back. We're going to rest for a little bit, and we're going to go find these big creature things that killed some dinosaur friends, I guess we could call them. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but honestly, I wonder sometimes if the Dutchman, small beak, flying dude is setting us up for a trap with these dinosaur creature thingy-majiggers. I'm not entirely sure yet, but we're gonna find out in this session of A Warp in Time. All right, then. Testing, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. How's that sound, Dutchman?
I am the one who was promised the flying Thunderbeak. I don't know what a Dutchman is.
Yeah, Thunderbeak, small beak, Dutchman, promised man. How do I sound?
Stupid, but it sounds clear.
Excellent. Go ahead and run a check for me.
How's that sound, Big Nose?
I think I just lost my hearing.
Where's Bob? We need him for this recap.
I don't know. He should have been here before the countdown ended.
Sorry I'm late. The coffee shop was full of folks today.
Did you get what I wanted?
Of course. Here you go, Jed. Just how you like it.
Oh, thank you.
And this is for you, the one who's promised the Flying Thunderbeak. Extra worms as requested.
Thanks, Bob. The perfect breakfast. You're learning.
Ugh, you're both very welcome.
Check your sound. Let's get this done.
Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Is that good?
Yep.
Okay, we all ready?
Ready.
Ready?
All right. Here goes.
Previously
on
on
a
a
warp
warp
in time.
Previously on a warp in time.
We started off our day just right. At least I did. One of the trees brought me worms for breakfast.
I even had the honor to try some myself.
I was glad I could show you the finer side of the culinary arts.
After breakfast, I realized just how filthy I was, and I headed upstream to the waterfall to bathe.
I went over to join you, Jed, but as soon as I submerged myself, I came face to face with this terrifying aquatic critter. It immediately tried to take a bite out of me. I managed to narrowly avoid it.
That scared the shit out of me. Literally.
I still firmly believe that the Dutchman summoned that creature.
Dutchman? Did I meet him at the open house? I don't know where the monster came from, but I didn't see this Dutchman.
Yeah, keep saying that, you leprechaun.
Okay, let's move on now.
We agreed to investigate the giants who were slaughtering the Dutchman's dinosaur friend things.
While we were investigating, we came across our troll friend again. His attempt at settling down in the swamps didn't quite work out. He said the place was rampant with large critters. He agreed to join us on our giant investigation.
It didn't take us very long to find these giants. We found a pair of massive tents. On one side of the campsite was one of my friends, dead and skinned in a pool of blood. On the other side of the camp was another giant creature. He was still alive, but tied down. It made me really mad.
We heard some snoring coming from one of the tents. I cut a hole into the tent, and I saw the biggest man I'd ever seen.
It was true. The giants, thought to be long dead, were very much alive before our very eyes.
Both of the giants woke before we could do anything, but Bob and I distracted them while the Dutchman and the troll freed the tied dinosaur.
My boppin' buns did one hell of a job for sure. You did well too, Jed.
Thank you, Bob.
Once we freed our new friend, I showed them my wrath.
I will say we did an excellent job at taking these giants down. Jed's unparalleled skill with his great sword, the one who's promised the Flying Thunderbeak's magic, our troll friend's strength, and the big critter's size got the job done.
We can't leave your clapping buns out of the equation, Bob. I'm glad I chose you as my apprentice.
I suppose you're right, my friend. You're too kind.
One of the giants was still alive after we won the fight. Our new dinosaur friend helped drag him to the river so that Jet could interrogate him.
I started reading the wrong line again. and I did interrogate him. The giant told us that he was led to this island by their leader. Supposedly this island is like some kind of place in the past, so we're living before my brother Jan was alive. He kept spouting on and on about recreating the world in their image, Jan included.
These giants were led by their leader, the Storm Giant, who created the mist we saw at the beginning of our journey to travel far back in time. So far back, all the lands we knew before are one big landmass.
Right.
They escaped the war they were fighting against the humans to remake the world in their image.
Right.
To ensure their enemies never existed at all.
Right.
They had also been creating armies of metal beings that looked just like the one who was promised the Flying Thunderbeak.
Right. We convinced the giant to safely take us into their main stronghold where the leader resides.
Our original goal of returning home has turned into saving our world, our people, and everything we know. But Bob and I really don't want to do a genocide of the giants.
There's gotta be a better way to resolve this.
Will we succeed in saving our time as we know it?
Find out now on the final episode of
A
warp in time!
As our adventurers set foot off the ship, they see a new world, unknown to them. One that was molded by the actions they took during their journey. One that might prove to be more wicked than the last. Welcome to the world of delusions.